We are continuing to follow Tropical Storm Isaias as it sustains 60-mile-an-hour winds. Not quite at Category 1 strength yet. We will see what happens after it passes over what we're looking at now, the Dominican Republic and then Haiti. Those heavy rain bands still over Puerto Rico as we speak, not to mention another invest coming off the west coast of Africa. And welcome back once again, my friends. July 30th, 2024, 19 p.m. We still have another day of the month of July to go before we reach August, and we are still dealing with Tropical Storm number 9, letter I in the Atlantic hurricane season. And we have an invest coming off the west coast of Africa. As we talked about earlier, guys, expect these waves to continue to just come and come and come in between those sand plumes we're seeing come off the Sahara. It's easy to find the gaps in between those sand plumes. There's a chart we can look at to check that on a daily basis. And when we do look at this chart, it's hard not to notice how these storms do pop up in the little gaps in between the different sections of sand that come off the Sahara. So we see the one in the Gulf that came and went in between there was one of our storms. And now we have Isaias down basically past Puerto Rico at this point. But we can see how that gap in the sand is there. And it was there for Gonzalo as well, even though Gonzalo ended up breaking up. Another plume behind it. But with that plume is also another set of storms that's coming off the west coast of Africa. It is now at a 50% chance of cyclone formation over the next 5 days. This is as of 2 p.m. earlier today, and we will be keeping a close eye on that. Obviously, we want to look at the shape of this storm now. Check out how we're getting that counterclockwise spin. We can kind of see the center of rotation in this storm almost. We are at 60 miles an hour. We need that 74 mile an hour mark to be a sustained hurricane where you actually really kind of see that eye wall forming. But right now we do have a pretty strong storm, a lot of strong storms within this storm blowing up out of the middle. As you can see, these black ash looking clouds, those are the storms poofing out high up into the sky. That's how you know there's some serious weather underneath. But again, those bands are finally coming across Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico had a long night last night, and now the Dominican Republic is dealing with the same. Next on target are the Bahamas as we follow the continuing changing track of this storm, which has been changing every 6 or so hours, as well as the time frame of when this may or may not hit Florida. We're still up in the air about this. We don't know if this thing's going to cut up into the Atlantic Ocean sooner than we hope, but that eastern side of Florida is still at risk for tropical storm force winds. And with those winds, we can expect some sort of storm surge. Now, that also depends on how strong the storm is by the time it does get through the Bahama Islands here and then into the southern part of Florida. We could see here by Saturday, 8 a.m., we're expected to be basically in the center of the Bahamas here, and that's when southern Florida will start feeling the effects of this storm. However, the strength is at that point. We'll know a lot more as we approach the early morning hours of Saturday. We're talking 1, 2 a.m., and then we'll have a much better idea of where this storm is going to be. Currently moving in a eastern, northeastern direction at about 20 miles an hour. So this thing's really trucking along here. And we can notice, too, the direction of this storm has changed a lot. A lot of these spaghetti plots we have here were right over the state of Florida. We had days where pretty much all of them hung out into the ocean, into the Atlantic, as they're kind of leaning towards as of right now. So a lot of discrepancy as far as where the high pressure in the Bermuda Atlantic. We always talk about this high pressure bubble here, whether it morphs into the Gulf area or the southeast part of the United States, or if it pulls back. That's going to allow this storm to come up north sooner. So the sooner that high pressure pulls away into the eastern part of the Atlantic Ocean, the sooner we will see this storm want to truck to the northern direction rather than being pushed across. Now, again, this may change. Any sort of change in that pressure that pushes the pressure into Florida or anywhere into the Gulf, you're going to start seeing these spaghetti plots go underneath Florida and then hook around towards the panhandle. Also, the millibar pressure, as you can see, is 1,003 right now. That's been fluctuating between 1,001 and 1,005. We are expecting this storm to get stronger. We don't know about the hurricane yet. We don't know if this is going to hit that 74 mile an hour mark. We do have the recon planes going in and out of the storm. And anytime you want to get updates on that, you can come to spaghettimodels.com. And this chart right here, it's called Recon OBS as of 1546 on July 30th. That gives you the time and date stamp of when they're running these planes, and you can see the path this plane took. Here's Puerto Rico right here, and you can see it's cutting right through the middle of the storm during this mission that they were on. Taking a look at the intensity guidance, we can see another fluctuation. If you guys remember, a lot of these plots were up into that Category 3 range, and then for a day they were all in the tropical storm range, and now they're kind of sitting as a high Category 1, possibly a Category 2. So again, with that discrepancy, we still have more time to go to see how the land interaction with this storm is going to change anything, because we do have Puerto Rico, which it did hit, and now it's kind of centralized. It shows the low pressure just below Dominican Republic. It looks to be just over the eastern side of the island right now, so we'll see if the land has any effect on the speed or the trajectory of the storm. So long story short, what we really want to do is our friends in Florida and the Bahamas, clearly we really need to be tracking this storm closely. I should have another update out this evening. If not, I'll be back on it tomorrow morning, where we should expect this storm to at least have cleared the Dominican Republic and then starting to hit the bottom part of the Bahamas. And again, we'll get an idea of what the actual contact with the Dominican Republic did to the storm, if it aids in the storm breaking down quicker, or if it really didn't matter at all and that warm water is going to juice this thing back up. We will see very shortly. And that will do it for this update, guys. Again, Isaias is on the eastern side of Dominican Republic, currently hanging over that northern side of the island, about to head up into the Bahamas. So once again, Florida and Bahamas, you are on watch. We will be back with more updates and whatever important info is needed ahead of this storm. All right, guys, once again, number 9. This is storm number 9. We could be looking at number 10 very soon. That would be Tropical Storm or Tropical Depression Josephine. We shall see. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.